Found out my parents aren't my biological parents on my wedding day, how I handled the shock. At 19, my life took an unexpected turn that set me on a path I never anticipated. I had always been the diligent student, the one who rarely caused trouble. But one fateful evening, my world changed dramatically. It started as a typical argument with my parents, one of those seemingly trivial disputes that, in retrospect, could have been resolved with a calm conversation. But this argument spiraled out of control, fueled by years of unspoken tensions and misunderstandings. I had been preparing for college, working part-time jobs to save up for tuition, and everything seemed to be falling into place. But that night, emotions ran high. I was frustrated and hurt by their lack of support for my dreams, feeling that they didn't understand or appreciate the sacrifices I was making. Words were exchanged, harsh, biting words that left scars deeper than I anticipated. By the end of the night, I was packing a duffel bag with a few essentials, leaving the home that had once been my sanctuary. I stayed with friends, each move an attempt to find stability amidst the chaos. My nights were spent sleeping on couches or in spare rooms, and my days were filled with juggling multiple jobs to keep afloat. I managed to finish high school and work towards a semblance of normalcy, but the pain of being cut off from my family never fully went away. The silence between us was a constant reminder of a family broken by unresolved conflict. Years passed, and I eventually found my way to college, where I met Emma. She was everything I had ever wanted: intelligent, kind, and unwaveringly supportive. Our connection was instant, and soon, she became the person I relied on the most. As our relationship deepened, so did my fears of repeating the mistakes of my past. Emma was a constant source of strength, and she gently encouraged me to confront the issues I had buried for so long. Fast forward to today, I'm 24, engaged to Emma, and our life together is filled with love and promise. We've been busy planning our wedding, a celebration that would mark the beginning of our future together. One evening, as we sat at our dining table surrounded by wedding planning materials, Emma dropped a bombshell that left me reeling. "I've been thinking," she began, her voice soft but resolute. "What if we invited your parents to the wedding?" Her words struck me like a thunderbolt. I had hoped to keep my past and my estranged relationship with my parents buried where it couldn't cause more pain. The thought of reopening those old wounds was daunting, and I struggled to find the right words to respond. "Emma, I'm not sure that's a good idea," I said, my voice betraying the turmoil I felt inside. "I haven't spoken to them in years. Our last conversation ended so badly, and the thought of seeing them again, it's just too painful." She reached across the table, taking my hand in hers. Her touch was soothing, a reminder of the unwavering support she had always given me. "I understand it's difficult. But this is a chance for healing, for moving forward. We don't have to force anything. If you're not ready, we won't invite them. But I think it's worth considering." Emma's words resonated with me. I knew she was right, avoiding the issue wouldn't make it go away. The pain and anger I felt from the past were holding me back, preventing me from fully embracing the future. Emma was offering me an opportunity to heal, to reconnect with my past in a way that could potentially bring closure. That night, as I lay in bed beside Emma, I wrestled with my emotions. The pain from my past felt like a heavy weight pressing down on me. I couldn't deny that a part of me longed for reconciliation, for the chance to mend what had been broken. But confronting my parents, facing them after all these years, was terrifying. I feared rejection, judgment, and the possibility of reopening old wounds. Eventually, I made a decision. If there was any chance for healing, I needed to take it. The next morning, I sat down to write a letter to my parents. My hands trembled as I penned each word, struggling to find the right balance between honesty and forgiveness. I acknowledged the pain and hurt from our last encounter, but I also extended an olive branch. I wanted to move past the anger and rebuild a connection, even if it was uncertain and fragile. Sending the letter was one of the hardest things I've ever done. I had no idea how my parents would react. The thought of facing their responses, whether positive or negative, filled me with dread. Days turned into weeks as I waited for a reply, each day feeling like an eternity. Finally, a letter arrived. It was from my mother, and as I opened it, I felt a mix of apprehension and hope. Her words were cautious but filled with genuine remorse. She apologized for the way things had ended and expressed her deep regret for the years we had lost. She wanted to reconnect and be a part of my life again, if I was willing. The process of rebuilding our relationship wasn't quick or easy. There were awkward phone calls, tearful conversations, and many moments of uncertainty. But through it all, I could see that my parents were genuinely trying to make amends. They wanted to be part of my life, and I began to believe that perhaps, with time and effort, we could heal the wounds of the past. As the wedding date approached, I found myself torn between excitement and anxiety. The prospect of seeing my parents at the wedding was both thrilling and terrifying. I wanted the day to be perfect, a celebration of our love, but I also knew that their presence could bring a whirlwind of emotions. On the day of the wedding, the air was filled with a sense of anticipation and joy. Emma and I had spent months planning every detail, from the venue to the flowers to the music. The ceremony was beautiful, a testament to our love and commitment. As I stood at the altar, waiting for Emma to walk down the aisle, I felt a surge of happiness and nervousness. When Emma appeared, radiant in her wedding dress, my heart swelled with love. She looked breathtaking, and the sight of her walking towards me was a moment I had dreamed of for so long. But amidst the joy, I couldn't ignore the presence of my parents, who had arrived quietly and taken their seats at the back of the room. They looked nervous, their faces etched with apprehension and hope. The ceremony proceeded flawlessly, a celebration of love and unity. As Emma and I exchanged vows, I glanced over at my parents, who watched with a mixture of emotions. I could see the tears in their eyes, and it was clear that they were feeling the weight of our shared past. After the ceremony, during the reception, I found myself standing with my parents. Emma was by my side, offering her support as I navigated this delicate moment. We exchanged stories, laughter, and a few tears. It wasn't a perfect reconciliation, but it was a start, a step towards healing and rebuilding. Later in the evening, as the party continued and guests danced, I found myself alone with my parents in a quieter corner of the venue. The conversation had been tentative but warm, and I was starting to feel a sense of closure. Just then, my father, who had been unusually quiet all night, cleared his throat and looked at me with a serious expression. "There's something we need to tell you," he said, his voice trembling slightly. My heart raced. I hadn't anticipated this level of seriousness, and a sense of dread settled over me. "What is it?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. He took a deep breath. "We've been keeping a secret from you. The truth is, we're not your biological parents." The revelation hit me like a ton of bricks. I stared at him, trying to process what he had just said. "What do you mean you're not my biological parents?" My mother stepped in, her eyes filled with tears. "When you were a baby, we adopted you. You're real parents. They were in a difficult situation, and we were given the opportunity to raise you. We loved you from the moment we brought you home. We thought we were doing the right thing by protecting you from the truth, but now, we realize that it was wrong to keep it from you." The world seemed to spin around me. My mind raced as I tried to understand what this meant. Everything I had known about my past, my identity, was it all a lie? Emma, sensing my distress, reached out and took my hand. "Are you okay?" she asked gently. I nodded, though the words were stuck in my throat. I felt numb, overwhelmed by the weight of this new reality. "Why are you telling me this now?" I managed to ask. My father looked pained. "We wanted to be honest with you before your wedding. We didn't want to keep secrets any longer. We hoped that by coming to this event, we could start a new chapter with you, one built on honesty and openness." I took a moment to collect my thoughts. This revelation changed everything. The pain of being estranged from my parents now seemed intertwined with a deeper sense of betrayal and confusion. Yet, despite the turmoil, I also felt a strange sense of relief. The truth was out in the open, and while it was painful, it was also a chance to rebuild our relationship on a new foundation. As the evening wore on, I found myself grappling with the new information. I spoke with Emma about the situation, her support unwavering as always. We discussed the implications and what this meant for our future. The wedding had taken an unexpected turn, but it also offered an opportunity for new beginnings. Despite the shock and confusion, I realized that this moment of truth, however unsettling, was an opportunity for growth and understanding. Emma's presence beside me was a steadying force, her support unwavering as we navigated this new reality together. The reception continued, filled with laughter and dancing, but my mind was preoccupied. I tried to focus on the celebration, but the revelation about my parents kept intruding on my thoughts. I knew that I needed to process what had happened and decide how to move forward. As the night progressed, I took a quiet moment away from the festivities to collect my thoughts. Emma joined me, her concern evident. "How are you holding up?" she asked softly. "I don't know," I replied, my voice heavy with uncertainty. "Everything feels so overwhelming right now. I thought I had resolved my issues with my parents, but now I don't even know who they are in the truest sense." Emma squeezed my hand reassuringly. "It's a lot to take in, but remember that they've been there for you, even if they're not your biological parents. They've loved you and supported you all these years. That counts for something." Her words brought a glimmer of clarity. My parents, despite the deception, had been an integral part of my life. They had provided me with love and support, and that meant something. The situation was complicated, but the bonds we shared were real, even if the context was not what I had originally believed. When I returned to the reception, I found my parents waiting for me with a mix of hope and apprehension. They were trying to give me space to process the truth, but they were also eager to reconcile. I approached them with a deep breath, ready to confront the new reality. "We need to talk," I said, my voice firm but calm. "About everything." We found a quiet corner away from the noise of the party. I could see the relief in their eyes as they prepared to speak, but I knew that this conversation would be pivotal in determining our future. My mother started, her voice trembling. "We should have told you the truth long ago. We thought we were protecting you, but we realize now that keeping secrets only made things worse. We've always loved you as our own, and we hope that this truth doesn't change how you feel about us." I nodded slowly, absorbing her words. It's been a lot to process. Knowing that you're not my biological parents changes things, but it doesn't erase the years we've spent together. I need time to understand this new information, but I want to try to move forward. I want to be able to rebuild our relationship, even if it's different from what I thought. My father's eyes were filled with tears of relief. "Thank you for giving us a chance. We've missed you so much, and we're committed to being honest with you from now on. We hope to be part of your life in a meaningful way." With that, we embraced, the hug filled with a mixture of sorrow and hope. It wasn't a perfect resolution, but it was a step towards healing. As the night continued, I was able to engage with my parents and start the process of rebuilding our relationship. The conversations were awkward at times, but they were genuine and heartfelt. Emma and I danced together, the weight of the evening's revelations hanging over us but tempered by the support and love we shared. As we swayed to the music, I realized that our journey together was not just about our future but also about reconciling the past. It was about forging a new path that included both the people who had loved me and the truth that had been revealed. The wedding ended on a bittersweet note, but as we left the venue, I felt a sense of cautious optimism. The future was uncertain, and the road to healing would be long, but I was ready to face it with Emma by my side. Our relationship had weathered many challenges, and this new twist in our story was just another chapter. The days following the wedding were filled with continued conversations and attempts at understanding. My parents and I worked on building a new dynamic, one that was based on honesty and openness. It wasn't always easy, and there were moments of tension and hurt, but there was also a growing sense of connection. Emma's unwavering support was crucial during this time. She helped me navigate the complex emotions and encouraged me to embrace the process of healing. With her by my side, I felt more confident in facing the challenges and opportunities that lay ahead. As the months passed, I began to see the fruits of our efforts. My relationship with my parents slowly improved, and I found a new sense of peace and understanding. The revelation had altered my perception, but it had also given me the chance to rebuild something meaningful. The process wasn't about forgetting the past but rather about acknowledging it and finding a way to move forward. Our wedding, once a symbol of new beginnings, had also become a turning point in our journey of reconciliation. It had been a day filled with unexpected revelations, but it had also marked the start of a new chapter, one that was shaped by the truth and the commitment to build something lasting. As I looked back on the events of the past year, I felt a deep sense of gratitude. The challenges had tested us, but they had also brought us closer. Emma and I were stronger than ever, and our relationship was built on a foundation of trust and understanding. My relationship with my parents had been transformed by the truth, but it had also been strengthened by our efforts to reconnect. In the end, the story of my wedding was not just about the celebration of love but also about the power of truth and forgiveness. It was a reminder that even in the face of unexpected twists, there was always the possibility for healing and growth. And as I looked towards the future, I felt hopeful and ready to embrace whatever came next, knowing that I had the support of the people who mattered most. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed these Reddit stories, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss an update. See you in the next one.